Hi, my name is Dina. I'm 28 and I have a hard time making a vision board. I know. I was never the person with a major passion for something or anything for that matter. I just went with whatever crossed my path without ever taking a moment to figure out what I really want. However, I can't ignore the urge of wanting to know what my thing is any longer. By experiencing new stuff and taking some moments to look back, I believe I'll get some clarity. Or so I hope. Follow my journey as I will be sharing my thoughts out loud, hoping we can make some sense of it as we go. A place to be all alone in this together. Welcome to my thing.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of My Thing. I'm really happy to be here again. To be honest, I'm just happy to be able to sit down and do this because I've been really busy in my personal life. A lot has changed since my last episode. Basically, my whole life has changed, but there are some topics that I want to talk about, but I'll dedicate specific episodes to those specific topics later on in my podcast because I hope that in the future I'll have more time to be more active with my podcast, also with my social media. And yeah, that was a short update. Other than that, I'm doing fine. I think I am balancing more through the waves, to the ups and downs, a bit more, with a bit more balance than I used to have, or that I used to have when I recorded my last episode. That's for me. And then for you, I hope that you are doing well, that a lot of things have changed for you for the better as well since my last episode. And I'm happy you're listening again. Thank you. I appreciate it. So, for today, I want to talk about a book. I'm going to do my best to give no spoilers. I will not, in no case, in no minute, talk about the ending of the book. I promise. But I will have to give the frame of the book, maybe, but I won't be talking about any details. So I won't be really spoiling the book, but I will guide you already to an idea of what you can expect from the book, or like a guideline of how it would go. So basically, the frame. I'll stick with the frame. I'll give you the frame of the book, just to be able to, well, talk about it in this podcast. What I want to do today. So let's get into it. The book is called The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. I'm going to do something that I absolutely hate when other people do it. But I'm telling you that I'm going to do it. And I know that I hate it when other people do it. But still, I'm going to do it. I hate it when people say their opinion about something and they act as if they are not spoiling it for you. For example, when you're watching a series and you haven't seen the final episode and your friend goes like, "Oh, have you watched the final episode?" And you're like, "No, I didn't have any time, but please don't spoil it." And they'll be like, "No, I will never spoil it, but yeah, I hated it." You just spoil it. Like, you just said your opinion. So I'm going to watch it and I'm going to try to feed or fight your opinion. I'm going to do it the whole time when I'm watching it. I will not be able to enjoy it and have my own personal view on it, because I'll constantly be thinking like, "Oh, I get it. Maybe that part is the part where like she hated it, or is it that part, or just don't do it." But I'm gonna do it, because it's my podcast and I can do it. And I chose to talk about this book. And you know what? Maybe you're not even gonna read this book, and I'm over here trying my best to not spoil it for you. So, um, maybe I should just start with talking about the book. The book is about a girl who decides to commit suicide, and instead of dying, she goes to this place, a midnight library, where the shelves are actually full of books, and every book is the story of um, what would have happened, or how her life would be like if she would have decided to do one thing specifically different. Let's say, for example, I will not take an example from the book. Let's just say she wanted to become a doctor, then she can pick up the book where she decided to be a doctor, and she did pursue that career, and then she can actually read how her life would be like. Or let's imagine she wanted to go and travel the world or live in a specific country. She would be able to read and live her life as if she has pursued those things. So she gets kind of a couple of like insights about how her life would have been if she would have done things differently. It comes down to the thing that every choice you make in your life brings different outcomes, which is very basic. Like we all know it, that if you would have chosen to do something else, then your life would have been different. Obvious, right? But it's only with reading the book that um, I've had the tools and the perspectives because of the book to look at my own life in a different way and to reevaluate some things, or to think about things that I've already thought about in my life, but with different tools, like I've said. I also can relate to the book. Like in the beginning, she talks about how she feels and why she wants to commit suicide. And I could relate really heavily to how she could feel about daily life, and how she describes her life is maybe um, very confronting for other people, as I think that a lot of people will be able to relate to that feeling. So it made me not like the book in the beginning. Like it made me kind of like, this is too close. When I'm reading a book, I want to relax, enjoy, or learn new things, but I don't want to read as if I'm reading my own life, if that makes sense. Um, so I could say that it was a bit too close for me, but then it took off. So in the book, the girl has the chance to um, live different lives, as if she's made um, different decisions. And I was thinking, I've been a lot of different people in one life. If you met me when I was 23 and you haven't seen me since then, and we would sit down for a cup of coffee now, I promise you, I am completely different. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, and I'm not really gonna sit here and judge um, myself, obviously, but I'm just very different. And I feel like I've been very different types of people. Um, I've had different dreams, different goals in life, different visions about, well, everything. Have had many and very various types of friends. Um, I had this friend that told me, I don't understand how you can be friend with that person. Like she's so different than you. And I would always be the person who had really different types of people in her group of friends. And that was the reason why I would barely or almost never hang out with all my friends together. Like I could never imagine putting all my friends together for a birthday party. They were just so different. And I'm not saying that's like good or a bad thing. I'm just talking about my past. And a lot of friends I've also like I've been able to be a different version of myself throughout our friendship, and I've been able to grow and make mistakes, and but other friends I've lost as well, and dreams too. Like I've lost um goals. I've changed perspectives. So I've changed a lot, and I think um, what the girl is doing in the book is she's living different lives. But then I'm like, I am in one life since the day I was born. But I've been so different in every phase of my life. And it could be like for 6 months, I was a completely different person. Like it would even translate in how I would dress, my hobbies, my makeup, my hair. Oh my God, my hair. If you know me personally, you know my hair has been through phases and personalities and, um, you know, all sorts of things. And I'm not saying it's a good thing or a bad thing. Honestly, if I would have to say my opinion, I would say it's a good thing because thank God that I'm changing daily. I'm really trying to be a better version of myself for myself. And with better, I mean with better, what better means for me, not for society or a friend or a family member or a teacher or a boss. Just really what better means for me. But it's just crazy, no? I can look back to Dina 1 year ago and I'm like, what the hell was I thinking? Who was I? I'm like so, I'm like a stranger to Dina that I was 1 year ago. It's insane, no? I don't know. I just stopped for a minute and I thought about it like, it's so crazy. And the book made me realize that we have so many options because it's true. One decision can change your whole life, like the outcome, right? And I've recently made a lot of these decisions. For example, I have packed up my whole life. My landlord sold the house and I needed to move. I packed my whole life and it was intense. I would want to empty out the drawer and it would take so much effort. Like it would take me a whole day just to clean out one drawer. Is it a drawer? Do you call it a drawer? What do you mean? You know what I mean? Like you have a closet and you have different sections in it. Just one section, if I would have to clean it, sometimes it would make it take me a whole day. And mentally it would be heavy. And I'm not talking about a specific type of drawer with memories or something. I'm talking about, for example, my stupid makeup drawer that has, for example, four hairbrushes. Why the hell do I need four hairbrushes? They're all the same. It's not like they're different types, but they all do the same, no? They detangle my hair and that's it. It's not like my hair that I have curly hair and I need to um, style it or manage it in a different type of way. My hair, if I wouldn't comb it after showering, it would look exactly the same as if I've brushed it and styled it. Or the fact that I have three nail clippers. Who the hell needs three nail clippers? Because the thing is, I always use the same one because it's my favorite one. But then why do I need the other two? Basically, I drove myself insane. Insane. It was really hard. But then I came to realize that it was hard to throw some things away or give some stuff away because maybe that second nail clipper was the favorite of the other version of me. There was one specific time in my life when something used to be my favorite or my go to thing, but it's not anymore. But I keep it, for the sake of memory or with the idea of, yeah, but maybe one day I'll need it and then I don't have one. And no, I was done. Also, my clothes. I have, well, I had. Mm, it feels so nice to say I had. I had so many clothes. I don't have many clothes anymore. Well, not compared to how many I used to have. Um, but I don't. I really don't. And it feels so good. It feels so good. But it was so hard to do it. Like I've had 3 closet sales, and I ended up giving a lot away. And um, it's just awesome. It's nice. For example, I had one skirt, and it was a skirt that I bought, and it was my favorite skirt, but I never, ever, ever worn it. I never did because my mom told me to keep it for a special occasion. So I did. And when one day I decided to wear it, it didn't fit anymore. Well, I have a lot of examples. When you start packing up your life, um, it's draining. But that's another topic. I'll get into that in another episode. But what I'm trying to say is recently I've made a lot of big life changing decisions, and I felt like I took a moment for myself to pick um, the book of my own library of the life I wanted. Boom. No, it was just crazy, what book you end up reading. And I find it really crazy when you can relate a lot. Um, that in this specific time of my life, I chose this book. It was actually recommended a lot in my recommendations for my next book, and it was like €3 on my e-reader, so I just went with it. And I liked it. I liked the perspectives it gave me, the tools. um wasn't a big fan of here's the thing, I'm gonna do that thing again that I don't like that people do, and that's feed you a little bit with my opinion about the book. um and it is that I didn't really specifically liked the book, which is very contradicting because I didn't like the fact that it didn't have a lot of depth. Very contradicting if you know that I like the topics and the perspectives and the tools the book has provided me with, and you can have a lot of deep conversations about it. And I'm even making a whole podcast episode about it. So, you know, it's a bit weird, but I feel like it could be a perfect Netflix movie. It's like the type of book that could be like, what's that movie called? The Kissing Booth or something? It's like those types of movies. Some people really like those types of movies. I watch those movies if I just want my mind off. But then I regret watching it because then I'm like, oh, cringe. Why did I just waste almost 2 hours of my life watching this movie? But I know that. I know that before I even watch the movie. I know I'll feel like that at the end. But it's an escape of reality at that point. So does the job. That was it about the book, I think. I just think it's very crazy how I've lived so many versions of my life in the same life, and how I've been so different, and how at one point in my life I've decided to choose which book that I'm gonna grab by making some decisions for myself. And I really want to talk about how it feels like to pack up your whole life. I, I think that will be my next episode. But other than that, I feel like that's it for this episode. I just wanted to talk about the book and about how it puts your life in a completely different perspective. Well, for me, it's a perspective we all know. Like, we all know whatever you decide in life has a different outcome. Like, even if you go to the gym and you decide to take a different road than you usually do, and you end up meeting a friend or an old friend um, during that walk or on that road, and maybe you catch up on a lost friendship and you reignite it, but it would have never happened if you haven't gone to the gym. I know, but the book just puts it very differently. I found it really interesting. Anyway, that's it for today. Um, I feel like I want to hit some different topics, but I'll just get into it in another episode of my thing. And I still don't know, by the way, what my thing is, but we're still working on it. Anyway, thank you for listening and bye.